Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 291 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today I did an in-person interview with a local videographer, podcast producer, overall visual creative, Chase Alexander Chadwell. Me and Chase got connected, I think back in October initially, when I met him in person at Jéan P The MC's album release show. I ended up connecting with him there, and I had already known about him through the Say What You Mean podcast, which is obviously John's show, and he's actually the podcast producer for that show. So I remember going up to him, just introducing myself and telling him, I was super impressed with the quality of the show and that I was, a weekly listener, all that good stuff. And we talked a little bit throughout the night, but he was working a lot. And then after that, when I interviewed local artist Napolean Solo a few weeks later, he actually reached out to me and thought it would be a good idea to get him on the show. And he expressed interest in the platform. So I was all for it. And we ended up going back to the hub in Canton, Ohio to do this interview. And we got to have a really great discussion about just the journey that he's been on to get to where he is now as a creative. Initially being from Canton, moving to Wisconsin, and then once he got in touch with Jéan and started following his work, he ended up moving back to Canton, and they've been working together ever since, and that led him to being the producer of the show Say What You Mean. And he talked about from there being able to learn from some local creatives in Canton, really just what the community has meant to him. Some of the artists that he's been able to work with over the past few years, and the brand that he is now going to be presenting to the world in 2026, and what that is going to mean to him to be able to have his own brand identity to kind of encapsulate everything that he's going to be planning and doing. He talked about, future goals, and really just, the energy that he's looking to bring in this next chapter. So I want to thank Chase again for allowing me to be the first one to speak with him on a podcast, because he did tell me that this was the first podcast he's actually been able to be a guest on, and I hope he is able to be on some more platforms very soon, because I love his story. I think he has a lot of great things to share with people, and the hope is that he's going to be able to work with a lot more people through doing different things like this. So if you guys hear this, if you're in Northeast Ohio, or even if you're elsewhere and you have an idea of how you'd like to work with Chase, definitely check out his stuff, tap in with him. And as always, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So without further ado, let's get into this one. All right, man. Well, I guess we'll kind of just begin. This for me is episode 291, I think. So
okay.
Thanks for wanting to do this, man. Because I know this is kind of like your idea in a big way. Like, you reached out to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you heard. Did you hear like the Napoleon episode? And that's
and John's.
Yeah. So, and I was tapped in with them. Me and you didn't meet until like 2 months ago.
The show,
mm-hmm. Which was in October, I think. I think it was like October 10th or something like that. So
yes, somewhere around there.
And I know you were busy because they had you working.
Yeah,
they had you doing all kinds of stuff. So is that kind of just like a normal thing? Like, let's say you're with Jéan at like any type of event or any show like that. Is that just kind of for you what you're doing? Like,
yeah,
just kind of
pretty much. Yeah. I just try to capture like any content that I can. So that's. Yeah. What I do, whatever that means. I mean, I started out like small, just like managing like merch tables and stuff like that, and then that just kind of transformed into me with the cameras and everything.
I guess we'll kind of start there, because that's how like me and you are even connected, is through Jéan, and mm-hmm. I didn't even meet him until like September, because we had got connected early in like 2024.
Okay.
And the whole reason I discovered him is because of the show.
Yeah.
So like I think I told you that at the show at the Oracle. I was like, yeah, found you guys through the podcast and everything.
Yeah.
And I had known that you were involved in the show.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with, how did you and Jéan kind of get connected to begin with, and where did that relationship even come from?
So it's pretty crazy, actually. So I was living out of state at the time, and I happened to stumble upon the Hometown Hero video from one of his earlier projects on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I just commented, and I was like, yo, that's where I'm from. Let me comment and see if he'll say something back. So he did. And then I ended up following him on social media or whatever. And then pretty much from that point, I used to come down all the time to visit in the summers, just once or twice throughout the year.
Yeah.
I always made a point to link up with him. So whatever he had going on here, even though I was only here for a limited time, I always made a point to see him, to do, wherever he's going, I'm going to try to pull up if I can. So that kind of just turned into how we kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess that
was the synopsis or the origins of
yes.
the relationship.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
So how many years ago was that? Was that
2016? So we're almost a
almost
decade
10 years. Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
And from there, where did it? Because obviously, I think he mentioned to me the origins of the podcast and everything. When did you come into the fold for being involved in that? Was it from the very beginning, or was it from the last couple of years here?
No, it was whenever I moved back. So I moved back June 2022. So probably within the next year.
2023.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I sent it to you, but 2022, he had a show at the Oracle. So I pulled up and I was there for that. But I wasn't doing anything for him at that time. That was me freshly back.
Yeah.
I was just there to support him, just a face in the crowd kind of thing. But then it was after that, he had a performance at the Musica in Akron, and Flaco Torres was there, OG Vern was there, he was there. So that was the first event that he was hey man, so I'm going to put this camera in your hand and, see what you can do.
Yeah.
So that was my test run. So I must have performed well then, I'm assuming, because then that turned into, okay, so you want to hang out for the podcast. All right, cool. So I started out with the podcast just sitting on the couch watching everything, how it,
how it went,
yeah, how to set up, how to do everything,
Yep.
yeah. So I was just kind of a student taking notes. And then just one day he was like, hey, man, do you maybe want to try editing the podcast? And I was like, oh, cool, because he knew I was in the process of trying to learn more and do more. So yeah, I just kind of started doing it just because. Yeah.
And you kind of from there, I think you can kind of learn as you go as well. If somebody
exactly.
trusts you with what they're doing.
Exactly. I had great teachers too.
Yeah.
So my guy Jordan Tucker, and then Joe Lewis, obviously, those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for their advice and their help throughout this whole process, I don't think I'd be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about that a little bit, because I had that listed as one of my questions as well, because you said they were two of the biggest people that kind of helped you to get to where you are now. So what are specific things that you have taken from what they've been able to do? Because obviously they both do their own respective thing. I'm familiar with Joe's work. I'm not really familiar with Jordan's stuff, so I'm going to have to look into his stuff. But what do you think you learned from them? It was more of a technical side of things, or was it how to actually do setups and professional work and things like that?
I think a little bit of everything, to be honest. I mean, they're both professionals.
Yeah.
And they both, they I guess they're just both professionals. So when it comes to literally every single thing, those are the guys that I go to. It's okay, so I'm struggling with this. How do I do this? And then, they have the answers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a learning as I go thing, and kind of hey, man, does this look right? Or what can I do to make this better? And then just kind of listen, take notes, and from there.
Yeah. I think the funniest thing during that show was that Joe was he was beside me, and he's like, I got the night off. He's like, I'm not touching any camera. I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were doing all the work, but you would come to him and be like, hey, trade off for a minute. And he's
And
like,
he
they got me
would.
working. He's like, they got me working on my night off or whatever. I just thought
Yeah.
that was hilarious.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
But
We even got you backstage.
yeah, I was going to say, I didn't, because Napoleon was like, you can come back here. I'm like, I don't.
I remember coming out there. He was like, "Yo,
well, the
he's
thing
out,"
is, you probably were like, who the hell is this guy?
Didn't know.
Like, yeah, because I was like, I know Jéan, I know Polo now, but like, I don't know a lot of these people, and I don't want to go where I'm not like welcome to go.
Yeah.
And I told Jéan, I was like, that's why I didn't come after the show was over. Everybody went back there. I was like, I don't really feel comfortable going back there again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna dip. But yeah, it was really cool to kind of see everybody, like the real sense of community that you guys have too. And I think that's really awesome. And I could tell you that you guys have all been like connected for a while. And I guess that leads me into, you said you obviously are from Canton, you went to Wisconsin, then you came back. Other than working with Jéan and like doing all this other stuff, was there any other reason why you decided to come back to Canton?
When I first moved away, I always said that I was going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took me a while to get back.
Yeah.
I guess another reason is because there's a lot going on downtown, like now,
within
the arts district and just everything.
Yeah.
I mean, local businesses are popping up. That sense of community. Like when I was growing up here, it wasn't really like that. So I kind of saw like the shift within the city and everything, and I was like, well, I kind of gravitated towards that. It's like, well, I want to try to be a part of that any way I can. So let's move back, get a game plan, and try to figure out what I can do.
Yeah. Which we are recording this right now at the Hub.
Yeah, shout out to
Tim. And I still haven't met Tim. I've been here twice now, and I still haven't met the guy.
That's the man.
And he's allowing me to record in his space, and he doesn't even know me. So shout out to him. Hopefully, I get to meet him eventually. But what do you think when you were first in this building and like in this space? Because obviously you're in here all the time.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess there's really no. It's kind of like I'm at a loss for words every time I come in here. Like, it's just because, and not in a bad way, like whatsoever. It's just the fact that like every time you come in here, there's always something new. I mean, they're constantly doing shows. Like they transform the downstairs. It's like a whole different vibe. Like a lot of different times, like throughout the year. It's just really cool. There's a lot of art. The artists have like a really good like sense of community as well.
It's like a rapport.
Yeah. Just cool. I love art, man. Do
you do anything like, because obviously you're involved in visual media, so like video and things like that. Are you involved in like any other type of art? Do you like draw or paint or anything? No. Have you ever thought of it, about doing it?
I mean, I used to sketch when I was younger, like drawing like box cars and stuff like that.
But it was never like something you said, oh yeah, I'm going to do.
No. I think like the last time I really tried art was like maybe a senior in high school, like oil pastels and stuff like that. Like I really was cool with like those. Otherwise, like I'm an avid writer, so like I write constantly all the time, like short stories, poems, raps, like anything.
So
literally anything.
Okay, so if you're writing raps, have you ever thought of recording anything or doing anything musically?
Man, I have like 100 songs in the vault that I just will probably never release because I'm just not that guy.
So like I feel like a lot of people they write and they have had it in their mind of like they wanna eventually maybe do some type of music or anything like that. Was it always just that, like you love writing and you love doing it, but you always knew like you were never gonna like actually do it, or is it just it doesn't feel right?
Sort of. I mean, I've been writing since I remember.
Yeah.
So like I was always that kid that was just like writing stories about like whatever. So that's kind of where I started, like short stories, and then that turned into poetry, and then after that, that's when it turned into like writing songs and stuff like that. But I just always knew that stage fright, man. I just don't, don't mind getting a little shine here and there.
Mm.
You know, I want to be seen, obviously, but like, I've always been a behind the scenes guy, and it's like, I just never thought that I could be like the show, but I could definitely
be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And set up the show and do
Yep.
everything behind the scenes.
Yeah. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/The Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/The Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. Which I think that's important too, because it's almost like you gotta identify who you are as a person, and then kind of where you fit in what role you can play, and then not trying to do too much. I think people always want to be, well, maybe not always, but a lot of the time they want to be the front and center, and they want to have all the attention on them and things like that, but they might not be like cut out for that.
Right.
So I think it's like having that conversation with yourself, and then knowing that there's a role to play that's really important still.
Yeah.
And that's why I like doing this show for myself, because I aim to kind of interview people that aren't just artists. They're also people that play other roles, because I feel like there's power in showing like listeners out there, maybe people that are thinking about being in the arts, that there's other roles to play.
There's other lanes,
yeah,
for sure. Like, you don't always have to just be, and that's like, I like how you said that, because like I feel like a lot of people, not everybody, but I feel like a lot of people think, oh, I got to do this, got to do that, and it's like, there's so much more. There's so
possibilities.
Much more. Yeah, there's way more going on than just being on the stage and like spitting some raps.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool and all. If you can do it, like, go do it. But like, you don't have to just do that.
Yeah. A lot of people just trying to kind of fit in ways that they probably shouldn't be trying to do,
and that's why I love who I'm around, because everyone that I'm around is genuine and authentic. Like, they're original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no copycats, people trying to be somebody else or sound like somebody else. The originality is one thing that I will forever love when it comes to like this world that I'm in.
Yeah. And I think it's cool too, because Canton isn't like a huge city. It's not like a New York or LA. I feel like when you're in places like that, there's a lot more people trying to just do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, if you're in a smaller city or town, anywhere really, I think you can see a lot more people that are just doing it for the real love of what they're doing. And like you said, they're keeping it authentic to who they are as an individual as well. So I forgot to ask you at the beginning, is this the first like podcast you've done? Like,
this is the first time I've ever been.
Really?
Yeah, so
nice.
The reason I kind of asked you about it is because, like I said, as I've been doing more within the community and everything, I'm trying to kind of put my name out there, I guess, like, as an individual. Like, I'm not trying to, like, I don't know how I'm trying to put it. It's not like I guess I'm trying to branch out.
Yeah.
I obviously am very thankful for every opportunity that I've been involved in, everybody I've met. But like, there comes to a point to where it's like, what can I do to elevate me as well?
Yeah.
While I'm also still creating and being involved with everything.
Yeah.
So that kind of like ties into like this brand that I'm in the process of trying to like put together and everything.
Which I kind of want to dive into that as well. It's called Chasing Creative Content. Is that artistic content?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the chasing thing was a pun, right? Is that supposed to be like intentional for the name and everything?
So my middle name starts with an A, so CAC.
Nice.
Chasing artistic content. It kind of ties in all the way.
So I guess we'll start with what kind of led to the idea of wanting to do your own thing, but what are the real goals for this brand and for kind of the next chapter of what you're doing?
More videos, more content, more connections, more everything. I mean, I just literally just want to flood. I want to, have my own brand out there to where it's like I can attach that to things and kind of put myself on a higher platform. And then so like, more people know about me, more people reach out, and I'm looking for any and every opportunity.
Yeah.
When it comes to like video editing, cameras, like things like that.
Yeah. Are you gonna operate it more like freelancing, where you're kind of still gonna, like, if someone hits you up, you're gonna do kind of like one thing for them, and then if they want you to do more work, you'll do it?
That's kind of how I plan to start everything. Yes.
Yeah. And is that how different will that be from what you've been doing? Is it more of just like
we're pretty well on a schedule when it comes to the podcast? You know what I mean? Everything is like planned out like ahead of time.
Yeah. So like the schedule. And,
So we're like briefed on everything before it happens and everything. So I guess the only thing that would be different is like, just like getting a message and it's like, hey man, do you want to come do this? And it's like, oh, if I got time, okay, well I definitely want to go do that. So it's like that's the only change, because it's not like planned.
Yeah. I feel like too there's power in kind of being able to have that brand too behind what you're doing, or at least like partnered in with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it gives you like a visual identity too. Like I saw the logo looks really cool as well.
Yeah, I got to shout out my guy Jagger. He's the one who made the logo for me. So shouts out to Jags.
You got to get like some merch or something going.
Yeah, for sure. Like, dude, there's so many possibilities, and like, I'm already tapped in with a guy who has merch. So it's like, okay, like I'm gonna try to. That's the goal. Like I want at least like T-shirts. I want like, the first thing is like cards. So when I go places like drop
like the business
card.
card.
Yeah, exactly. So
you're gonna have like the QR code.
Yes. So I'm gonna do kind of the same thing that's already being done. I feel like that's the best way to kind of market yourself. You want it to be real simple. Just what your business is, a logo, and then where you can get all the information.
Yeah.
You don't want to like put like too much on it.
Yeah. Keep it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that, and I guess like with that in mind, it sounds like eventually you want to kind of branch off and do even bigger projects. Like let's say it's not even for like an artist or another creative. If it's just for you, what is like a dream project that you would eventually want to do? Even if it's, like I said, if it's not for anyone else, even if it's just for you, like what do you think you want to do one day?
I've always thought about like a short film, like a documentary style, like short film.
About yourself or about like just anything?
About anything.
Yeah.
I can't really think of it off the top of my head right now, but I know that much.
Yeah. Definitely something to kind of look forward to.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is super, super interesting. Trying to think if there's anything else before we get into these last few questions. Oh, shout outs. Anyone you want to shout out? You've obviously shouted out a lot of people already.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Well, to be honest, like I said, I obviously shout out Tim.
Yeah.
Tim's the man.
Yeah.
Shout out Jéan, Say What You Mean podcast, everybody there. My guy, Ryan Miller, 4th Street Collective, Mike's Pizza. We love them. Support them.
He was just on here, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had Mike on. So, yeah, shouts out to them guys. Obviously, like, my family and everything, Joe Lewis, Jordan, Polo.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Polo.
Yeah, happy birthday, Polo. But then, yeah, like, my guy, Eli, Elijah Russian.
Oh, yeah.
You met him.
Yep.
So that was really cool. my guy Grim. Literally, just shout out to anybody and everybody who's like helped me along the way, and like just I'm so thankful for every relationship that I've like formed throughout these 3 years that I've been back, just through like this whole creative scene. Like, I feel like a lot of times people like don't stick together as much as they should, but everybody that I'm around right now, like that sense of community, we're all tied in, and we all just want each other to just go bigger, do better, you know, and elevate. So yeah, shouts out to the city, man.
Yeah.
Everybody in it that's
Everybody
doing something
Canton?
creative.
Yep.
Yeah, straight up.
That's the thing. I'm in Alliance, so I can't like claim like, oh, I'm in Canton, but everything I've seen from like what's going on in Canton is super awesome. And I agree with you what you said earlier, which is like when you were younger, you probably didn't like see any of this kind of stuff going on down here.
Right. Like I was in here when I was a kid for like First Fridays, seeing the art gallery and stuff. I mean, so there was always like this was always definitely a move, but
it's like elevated compared to what it was.
Yeah, there's so much more going on. There's so much more. Like, you know, my guy Ali has Bar Lost One. That's really good right now. You know, Ryan opened up Finney's. Finney's is doing really good. The plaza being built. Yeah. So
there's so many different like things that people are doing too, because it's not just art and music. It's like entrepreneurship. It's just a lot of different things going on. And I know Jéan has always talked about that too, which is like, I feel like people that aren't from around here, they have like a different view of it, or like they have like opinions on it. But it's like when you actually come down and like see everything, you're like, wow, there's actually a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah, I would just tell all those people to pop out on a First Friday.
Yeah.
And, you know, and experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you'll really see that.
By
sense
the
of
way,
community.
were you on the roof at Two Scoops?
I was.
How'd that go?
Oh, man. I'm scared of heights, man.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
That was an opportunity of a lifetime. So, like, he was just like, yeah, so, you know, we're going to do this performance. I'm rapping on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Two Scoops, you know, shouts out to them, too.
Yeah. Which is right, like, right over there.
Right down the street. Yep. So, that was really cool. That was, like, the first time I've been up that high first.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was just super cool. Like, I've never experienced anything like that. It was so cool to, like, you know, you're looking down and you just see everybody, and everybody's vibing. It was a little difficult getting some of the angles that I wanted to get because he was rapping on the edge, so it's like I couldn't necessarily get in front of him.
I was going to say, I probably wouldn't be walking like
you know
that close
I mean?
trying to get
but
the
like,
shot.
I was like to the side of him, to the left, to the right.
Did you have like a tripod and everything, or you were just like holding
Freehand.
it? Man, crazy.
Yeah.
I don't. Would you ever do anything like that again? Like,
oh, for sure.
That high up?
For sure. Yeah, because it wasn't so bad once I was up there.
Yeah.
I always kind of run into these problems to where it's like, man, I don't want people looking at me. I'm like up here like recording these guys. But then I'm like, well, and then I realize I'm like, okay, well, they're not really here for me. They're here for the man. So it's like, or whoever that may be. So it's like, okay, like, I just kind of get nervous. But once you
get in the flow of things.
Once I get in the flow of things and I'm like, okay, I'm working. All right.
Yeah.
Then it's all good.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty crazy. Because I remember seeing that. I think that was August, right? So,
yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. So pretty awesome stuff. And I think that's it besides these last few questions, the ones I ask on every episode. The first one is, if you could go back 10 years ago, give yourself any piece of advice, or maybe not change anything at all, what do you think you would do?
Honestly, man, I would just tell myself to get outside. I think I limited myself a lot, and I like missed out on a lot of opportunities just because I wasn't comfortable with like branching out and like just trying to be involved.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, especially back then, I was like, well, I don't really know if I like belong. As though it was really just more or less trying to find my like where I fit in. Yeah. And it was like, you know, sometimes even now I'm like up on the stage with like rappers and stuff, and it's like, man, like I never thought I'd be doing this. So like, I don't know, like that's probably the most, that's the best advice I'd give myself, is just get outside of your comfort zone.
More networking.
Like talk. Yeah. You know, I was very quiet and like very behind the scenes, and like nobody knew who I was or what I was doing for a long time because I just wasn't vocal about things when I should have been.
I feel that way, especially as like someone that's more introverted. I still feel that way today. I'm like, I gotta keep kind of getting out there more and like introducing myself and doing those types of things. So,
I mean, you're not gonna get to where you're going if you're not
doing that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can only do so much on the internet. That's what I've found.
Right.
You got to get in people's faces and kind of like show them like who you are as well.
Right.
Is a big thing. And if we flip that question, then we say 10 years from now, where do you think you envision yourself in your career and just in life in general?
I'd say within the next 10 years, hopefully I'm not working a regular job. I mean, that's kind of where my mind is right now. It's not as hard as it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, it really, like one of the big things is just being consistent, like consistency. You just have to flood. Yeah. Like if you're not always on it, you're going to get left because there's somebody else that's
willing to put in the work.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's all about just like putting in the work, and I plan to do all of that. So like 110% into this. So like I said, I say within like the next 10 years, hopefully like I'm generating enough income to where
it can be the full thing, full-time thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
So more opportunities, bigger stages, bigger names. I mean, that's kind of where my head is at. But of course, I'm always going to stay locked in with, you know, everybody here. Of course. Never going to forget where I came from.
That's awesome. And do you have any final words of wisdom for the listeners? Anything you want to let people know about?
To be honest, I was just thinking, like, it's kind of cliche, but like, you can really do anything you set your mind to. Like, I didn't think I could do half of this. And it's just like through time and experience, I realized that, like, if you have a passion, I guess, you got to really, like, lock in on that. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of people, like, think that they have to, you know, oh, I'm just going to work this job until I'm 65 and retire. And if you're doing that, that's cool. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not knocking that whatsoever, but I'm saying there's so many people that are talented that settle for things like that when they could do something so much better, like their passion. And they feel like, oh, I can't do that. I can't make that next step. Well, you can.
Yeah.
You just got to lock in.
Yeah. A lot of it, too, I think, is the risk that people aren't willing to take. And it's like if you're willing to actually put yourself out there, take those risks, then you will see the rewards from the risk. Even if it's not today or not a month from now, whenever, you're going to eventually see that start to come in.
And it's a grind. People think that – I think what deters people from like taking that step is because you don't see the results right away. Yeah. I don't have to tell you that you don't see the results right away. Like it takes
a long time.
Like it can take years.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But as long as you stay true to yourself and you keep applying that pressure and you learn and you know, try to do better with each thing that you do, it's going to pay off.
Yeah. In due time, all things come in due time.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think you're doing that, man, and congrats on everything that you've already done, but everything you got planned for 2026. And
I got another shout out too. I forgot to shout out my guy Master Puff. You know, I forgot to shout out Adam Robb, Charlie Parker, All Circles Media.
Yeah,
we love them guys. They just had a show at the Wood Shop for Mike's Pizza's Thanksgiving Eve bash or whatever. And I got to hang out with them guys kind of behind the scenes. Adam was like showing me how different like
on the boards
things work. Yeah.
I
and
saw
I'm just like a kid at a candy store looking at this like, bro, this is absolutely insane.
It's like rocket science.
Yeah, it's so crazy and just like it's
Yep.
There's a lot there. And also shout out 94.1 Matt Fantone. Shout out him. I was in there twice with Jéan now. Documenting footage for whenever he had his recent single played, the Gold Jackets video, and a time before that. So that was really cool.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more of those experiences on the horizon for you as well, which
For
is
sure.
exciting, man. So, well, thanks again for wanting to do this, man. Like
man.
I said, not a lot of people will always reach out to me.
Yeah.
So it means a lot that, you were checking out my stuff. And like I said, I've been a fan of you before I even knew who you were or what was going on.
For sure. You're doing good things.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, man. And
Shouts
thanks
out
again.
to you.
Yeah, thank you, man. And we'll do this again eventually, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be talking to a lot of other people around here. So it's
right.
going to be exciting. But keep up the good work, man. And, thanks again for wanting to do this. So
yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, everyone, for listening today. That was episode 291. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit that support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send us any funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. So we'll see you then. Thanks, guys.